Hi guys, this is Jamie. I want to welcome you to my channel. I hope everyone's doing well, staying safe. Today I wanted to show you guys my completed pages for the month of August. I had done quite a few buddy colors as well as quite a few pictures from my uncolored coloring book stash. And by doing that, I actually used a Spin It app, which was inspired by Nikki and Niagara's channel, to put all of your uncolored books on it's this app that has a spinning wheel, and you actually sorry about that, guys. You actually can type them all in, and then all you have to do is press spin and it will randomly select a book for you. So I tried to use that as often as I could this month to go through my uncolored stack of books. And I tried to write them all down so that I knew which book I did or which books I was doing. Let me show you what I used to write them down in. My composition book 2020, and let me just flip to the page. Here it is right here. So I called it the Spin the Wheel, my uncolored books, August 2020. So all of these are books that I spinned or did not spin, and they were on the spinning wheel. Every book that is listed here, after I have colored, I have put a sticker, and I have taken off the Spin app after I completed them. So as you can see, I did quite a few this month, and you can see the stickers, and I'm pretty satisfied with how many I accomplished. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys how I had documented this in my comp book. And we will get started with the coloring pages. I am doing a voiceover right now because the first time I recorded this, it was just way too loud. My children were being obnoxious. So I'm trying to do this voiceover seamlessly. First book is Anime Coloring Book by Jade Summer. This was one that I spinned on my uncolored book stash. And I did this one, which is a back to school picture, and I used alcohol markers, a little bit of shading with pencil, but basically alcohol markers. With the girls' workbook, I put English/L, like an English language book. And this is a line art style of Jade Summers that I have had in my collection for a little while. This also works for Lavelia's Color Your Hoard 2020 hashtag. The next one here I have is Chibi Doodle Whimsy Characters coloring book. And this one is by Jenny Lujan. And this one was also part of that uncolored stash. This is volume 3. She does other books. And I did the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs page. These Seven Dwarfs are a little different than the ones we typically see, but I think it's a really cute picture. I just use alcohol markers, washi tape on the border. There are some gel pen and white gel pen for some highlighting here and there. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied how this turned out. And I did this also for... Sorry about that, guys. I had to stop the audio track because my son came out of his room and needed something. The next book here is Masters of Fashion Illustration. And this one was a spin. I probably would have never touched this book if it wasn't for the Spin app telling me it was its turn. This is by Wendy Pearsall. I apologize if I said that wrong. And this is the page that I did, mostly alcohol markers, but I did use some gel pen mainly on the leaves and the flowers. The flowers are Parku Click gel pen, and the leaves are just glitter gel pen. And it was pretty simple to do. I'm pretty satisfied with that one. Next one is Baby Animals Coloring Book, Volume 1 by Coloring Book Cafe. I purchased this one when it was $3.99 because I love baby animals. And the one I did was, let me show you, is the baby squirrel. I am really happy with the way this turned out, and I think it's perfect for the fall season. And I used Prismacolor pencils to color the squirrel, and the rest has alcohol marker based shaded with Prismacolor pencils. And I did eyeshadow background, I believe, and a washi tape border. I couldn't get all the washi tape border to be the same. On the one side it's just basic red, the closest to the spine, but I am pretty happy how that turned out. The next one I have here is Lazy Animals by Jade Summer. And this one was a buddy color with Samfi615 on Instagram. She messaged me and asked me if I wanted to do a buddy color, and I said sure. And so we decided we would do a picture out of this book. And this also counts as my Color Your Hoard book or uncolored books, because I had not colored in this yet. I did this sheep, and I think this is perfectly fitting for my situation right now, because I feel like this every morning. The only change I did to this page is I added number 1 mom there on the cup, just to make it a little more personalized. And I did sparkle gel pen on that spoon. So yeah, I like how this one turned out. I'm pretty pleased with it. And most of it is alcohol markers with some gel pen. And I even did alcohol markers and shading on that. I think I'm just saying that that one counts as a Color Your Hoard as well. The next one here I have Coloring Kawaii Mandala Magic Volume 1 by Danny Banani, the Fun Usual Suspects coloring book. This actually has a different title now, which is Yippee Kawaii or something like that. I purchased this book before the title was changed. I did this page, and this was kind of like a 3-way buddy color with Shayna in Colorland and Danielle Danny Buttons on YouTube. And all 3 of us did this one, and all 3 of us' pictures turned out completely different than one another, which is so much fun to see the difference of what 3 ideas can do. And I kept my sewing machine white because that's what my sewing machine looks like. The next one I have here is the Sloth Coloring Book, and this one's by Jade Summer. And I did this one as a buddy color, and this one I did with Sophie's coloring. I believe it was Sophie's coloring journey, or sorry, I'm out of focus. And that was on Instagram, and I did this, I'm guessing it's a mama sloth, or it could be a grandma, and there's a baby sloth in there. I've used gel pen or alcohol markers and gel pen and a little bit of white gel pen, but mostly sparkle gel pen, and you can see the shine there on the page. And I like how it turned out, and it came together fairly quickly. This is a fun book to color in and not stress over, which is nice. So I'm just setting this one aside and grabbing the next one. The next one here is Mystery Mosaics Wow Animals, and this is by the Belba family. And I chose to do this one, which is the koala. I love koalas. I decided to do the half on half approach basically half X method, half solid. I wish I would have done the tree and the other flowers solid, but you live and you learn. The background obviously is the X method, and I did these all with some cheap Walmart markers that were dual tip that I just had forever. So I wanted to test them out and see if I could get some life out of them, and they still had a little bit of life, but they did have a little bit of streakiness to them, as you can see with the koala. So it's not my favorite, but hey, I got one done. What can I say? Next one will be better. Moving on, we're going to show you Mamas and Babies. This one is by Dragon and Beasties, and in this book, this was one that I had not colored in yet. I did not spin this one. This was just one that I pulled to color in because I wanted to test out my new Crayola Twistables 50 pack. And this is basically straight out coloring with crayons. And I didn't really do much blending. I tried to do some layering here and there, and I kept it traditional dragon colors, as you can tell, and I really love how it turned out. The gold on the knees of the mama dragon is gold Posca pen. That's why there's a little bit of a shine right there. And yeah, I'm really happy how that one turned out. The next one I have was a spin from my Spin It app, which was Victorian Darlings by Hannah Lynn. I had not colored in this one yet. This one is a little more detailed to me than a lot of her Hannah Lynn's, but I picked this one because it seemed simple enough that I could knock it out of the park, and I just went with alcohol markers, did some gel pen work, and it's just gold gel pen. I love how her eyes turned out. The blue complements the dress, and I thought that the green, light green background with the yellow diamonds complemented the green in her hat, the little green leaves. So I was just trying to complement all the colors that were in that one. The next one that I decided to color in was this one by Color Questopia. It's the gnome coloring book, and this is a color by number coloring book. I decided to use the Parku alcohol markers on this. As you can see on the opposite side, you can see that the red transferred into orange, and I wasn't expecting that to happen. I used colored pencil on the background, like the green and the blue. My gnome is totally different than the other ones you guys have probably seen because my purple marker didn't work out the way that it was supposed to. It turned out to be pink, not actually purple. This is why you test your markers before you color them on your page. But I think it turned out fine. It's fine. And I only did the black outlining on the wishing well and the gnome. Here I'm showing you the bleed through here. And this was after I colored and everything. I thought it was dry, and I closed the book. So make sure your pages are completely dry before you close your books, or this yellowing of transfer of color will happen. This is like the second time this has happened to me. Even though I know it can happen, it's like I get done with things so quickly I don't pay attention. The next one I have is Nice Little Town 6. This was one that I spinned on the uncolored spinner, spin the wheel. And this is the one I did. I'm not super pleased with this one. I'm not sure if I like the color choices or not. I guess it's all right. I did use some gel pen there on the curtains to make them look see-through, kind of like a candy wrapper. And I keep thinking I should have chose a different color for the main part of the home, maybe like red or something stronger and darker. But it is what it is, and I'm glad that I had completed it. So at least I can say I have one completed page in this book. I'm going to move on to the next page. You can tell there's like nothing for a minute because I'm talking to my kids, trying to settle them down, and it's not working. So the next one I have here is Summertime Fun by Deborah Muller. And this one was a buddy color that I did with the lovely Misty at Country Gals Coloring Place here on YouTube. And we did this harvesting girl. I made mine with red hair, mostly alcohol markers here, a little bit of permanent markers like Bic Ultrafines. The background is gelato that I have watered down with a water brush. So there is a little bit of warping onto this page. That is what happens when you use water on Amazon printed paper. Usually you'll get some type of warping. The next one I have is 50 Summer Miniatures. And I did 2 buddy colors in this book this month. This first one was with Samfi615 on Instagram. We chose this one to do with the seashells. I turned mine into a sunset, and I kept with the orange, purple, pink color palette. I love how the water turned out with the sun reflection on the waves. And I put glossy accents on my seashells, so they were shiny and they kind of lifted up on the page. And I love how that looks. And the next one I did was this one with Shayna in Colorland on YouTube, and I used watercolors. As you can see, it has rippled the page, but the effect is very beautiful. I love how the blues are on the flowers and how my leaves turned out. And the lanterns are metallic watercolor. And so I'm pretty satisfied with how this turned out, and I want to thank Shayna for asking me to do this because it helped me get out of my wheelhouse by pulling in some watercolors for this page. The next book that I'm going to show you guys is the Yam Puff Stuff coloring book. This is by Yam Puff, and this was a buddy color as well. Just wait for it to flip. Right here, this is I did this with Ashley, and she has a YouTube channel. She's new to YouTube. It's Ashley's Coloring Journey, and I kind of did her kind of Tinkerbell / Rapunzel inspired fairy, because right now in my Facebook group, which is called Once Upon a Color, we are doing a Disney challenge for the month of August. And so I wanted to kind of give her a Disney-inspired look. And that way I could enter it in that challenge as well. And as you can see on the date on the corner there, it was 8/7 that I did that. And I did stickles on the wings and sparkle, Pentel Sparkle Pop on those pom-poms. The next one I have here is Disney Babies by Hatchet Heroes. This is I believe it's like Colorage Mysteries, but it's like the block style. This first one was a buddy color with Danny Buttons, or Danielle from Danny Buttons Colored YouTube channel. And I did the X method. This was the first time doing an X method in a color by number block style for me. Obviously you can tell this is Baby Mulan and Baby Mushu, and it turned out pretty cute. I used Stettler fine liners to do the X method on this one, so there was no bleed through using these Stettlers. And then I'm going to show you the next one here in just a second. And the next one is Baby Ariel and Baby Flounder. And I did this one with Danny Buttons as well. And these two pages, we didn't do the same pages. We just opened the book at random and picked random pages to do together. And so I think her first one was Hercules and the second one was Snow White or something. The next one I have here is Little Fay Wee Fairies of Fairyville coloring book. And this is by Deborah Muller. I did this page with Misty, again, Country Gals Coloring Place here on YouTube. And I kept to my so many color palette. And I did alcohol markers. There's some gel pen. I used the Pebbles chalk eyeshadow, it's kind of like eyeshadow, but it's rougher texture for the background. And I think she turned out really pretty. And yeah, there is that one. The next book I have here is Chibi Girls, Coloring Book Volume 3 by April Amber. This book I'm actually hosting a color along on my Facebook group, Once Upon a Color, and we're going to be doing this book next month for the color along. So I only had done one page in this book this month with that was a buddy color, and I did it with Danny from Danny Buttons YouTube, and here she is. She's got a rainbow umbrella, and we both actually chose a yellow rain jacket and yellow boots with glitter, which is kind of fun that we ended up doing the same thing. So I'm pretty happy about that. And I put a star in her eye just for some extra little sparkle, just with white gel pen. The next book I have here is a new book by Jade Summer. It's called Color by Number Patterns. This is one of not very many pattern books that I own. I don't own very many pattern books because I'm not way into them, but I do like color by numbers, and so I thought I would give this a try. And I purchased this when it was on the sale price. I want to say it was like $4.99 or $3.99 or something like that with the sale price. And this is the one that I did, and I just picked a page at random. And not all the colors that are listed on the side are colors that actually are on the page, just so you guys know. And I would have never put brown with these colors, but it kind of looks kind of tribal, which is kind of fun. And I think it turned out pretty nice, actually. And so I can't wait to do some more in this just to see. It's kind of like a mystery how it's going to turn out. So I'm excited for that. The next book I have here was a book that the Belva family sent to me. And this is Fairies Around Us. And this is the line art version of this book. They have this one as a color by number as well. The cover actually looks different than this. It has like a fairy here and a world right there. And it's like blue. So if you've ever seen that one. And I did this page with the girl with the roses. And I basically just did alcohol markers with a little bit of gel pen. The shading inside her hair is alcohol marker as well. And I added stickles to her wings because you can't go wrong with adding glitter. I have a little bit of glitter on her face. This was actually kind of fun to do because after I colored it, I looked up on Instagram at other people's pictures of if they did this one with the color by number, just to see what the color by number one looked like, and mine looked so different. So that was kind of fun to see the difference. The next book I have here is Posh Coloring Book Peanuts. And this one I got on sale before I did my no buy for 15 days. And this was like $5 on Amazon. I don't know if it's still that price anymore. I do love Snoopy and the Peanuts characters, Charlie Brown and Lucy and Linus and stuff. And so I thought, why not? This is not my typical book because of the patterns in it, but I thought I would give it a chance. And I'm thinking I'm going to open it here in just a second. This is the trick about doing voiceovers. I think I'm trying to talk to my daughter at the same time. Alright, so this is the page I did here, and this is pretty basic page. I just used gel pens and colored it straight. They are perforated edges. That's what I'm trying to point out. And it's all glitter gel pen. So I used the Super Doodle glitter gel pen for that. The next book I actually took a fun approach to, which is Summer Nights by Hannah Carlson. And I purchased this book originally to do untraditional coloring in this. Well, things that I wouldn't do in my other Hannah Carlson books. And so I took a chance and did something that was kind of breaking the rules in a lot of colorists' minds. I decided that I would use alcohol markers in this book. And you probably think, whoa, that's double-sided, girl. Yes, it is a double-sided book. It did bleed through. So I did this with alcohol markers and some gel pens, and the background, that brown coloring that makes it look vignette, I did that with gelatos, like a chai gelato color, and brushed it on. And I like how my flowers turned out, the yellow. In the back, I did this. So this is like a style of an art journaling style. There was bleed through, and I decided just to do this. I didn't care for the image that was on the back, and I struggle with coloring with the left side pages anyway because I'm right-handed. So I was okay with doing this, and I thought it was kind of a fun idea to do in your coloring books that are two-sided and you like to use your markers. So yeah, there is that one, and I think I'll show you guys on the front here. I wasn't very careful with the glue placement, so there was a little bit of buckling right there, the bubbles. But I think they'll flatten out over time and it will be fine. So it's all good. I love the mice, they're cute. The next book I have here is Chibi Girls Grayscale 2 Books in 1 by Jade Summer. And I did 2 buddy colors in this one. The first one I did with Downy Buttons, and this is a bathtub picture, obviously. I colored the bubbly water straight with one color, and then I added the white gel pen. And the dog thing that's here, I don't know if it's a dog or a cat. The tail suggests cat. The top suggests like puppy to me. So I don't know. I just colored him like that and it works. And yeah, I kind of just used up some leftover markers to complete this one. Alcohol markers. A little bit of gel pen. This next one was a buddy color on Instagram with Sophie's Coloring Journey again. And this is the golfer girl. Made her have blue hair because my Animal Crossing character has blue hair, and I had been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. And I love how her eyes look, that ombre effect with the orange and the yellow. So I'm happy with those. The next book that I have here is Les Grands Classiques, Tome 4 or Volume 4, but Disney. These are by Hatchet Heroes. They are French coloring books. And I did this one with Abu the monkey off of Aladdin. This was a coloring page that I did with Downy Buttons. She wanted to do an Aladdin page, and since she did Aladdin, I decided to do Abu. The background originally with the color palette was supposed to be reds and oranges, and I felt like that was just too many reds and oranges and browns all in one page. So I decided that I would do something different in the background, and I used my gel crayons to create this sandy golden effect, kind of marbly like, because in this scene in the movie, he's in the Cave of Wonders with all that gold, and it's when the lava comes and he's trying to sneak that jewel. So I just thought it was a fitting color for the background so he would pop out more. The next one was a book that I had in my uncolored collection that I spinned on my spin app, which is Mickey Colorage Mysteries. And this one is more of a simplified one. I think it's supposed to be made for kids, but I'm using it as an adult coloring book. And I did this one, which is Minnie and Daisy playing tennis. Obviously, there's no mystery. We know who these people are, and you can tell even with the lines. I colored this one with Crayola twistable crayons, and that seemed to work out really well and got it done pretty fast. The next book I have here is Happy Hoppers coloring book by Ellen Jaracki. I apologize with that name. This one I also spinned on the Spin It app. And it's just really cute with these little bunnies. I did this one, which I found fitting for back to school with all the apples, like you're giving your teacher an apple. And also for fall because of harvest time. This little bunny, his name is Hoppet, and he is supposed to be light gray. So that is why he is that color. There's a description on what bunny is what color on the front of this book if you are into following what the illustrator has put out. And I made sure to let this one dry so that there was no bleed through on that one. The next one is actually kind of a funny story. My daughter, my 5-year-old daughter, wanted me to color a picture. I told her, go pick a book out of mommy's shelf, and this is the book she picked. And I said, do you want to pick a page too? And she said, yes. And I said, okay, which one do you want me to color? And she decided to have me color this one. And I said, what colors do you want? And she picked every single color on this page and told me to color what and where. And I would have to say she does have good color theory because she pulled it off pretty well on what color should go where. And I did not help her. The dolphin is all glitter gel pen. I would have never done a full dolphin in glitter gel pen if it was me by myself, but that is what my daughter wanted me to do, so that is what I did. Just for fun. It was a great bonding time with her, picking out the colors and telling me why she picked the colors. It was just a fun little time for us to color together. The next book that I'm going to show you, I actually did like a color and chat with fine liners on YouTube. It's called Colors for Life Coloring Book by Angela Gonzalez. And this is the page that I did. I believe I colored the girl entirely on real time, and then I sped up the video and finished the rest of the image with a speed up video on the color and chat. And I used a variety of fine liners, Stettler, Stabios, and I believe I used Arteza Iconics as well. The next one I have here is the Splat Nickelodeon coloring book, coloring the 90s. So these are Nickelodeon cartoons, and this was one I spinned, and I did Tommy and Chucky in the kitchen getting cookies, and there is Spike, Tommy's dog, and I tried to do it as close as I could to the actual show in coloring. I had to look up some references to pick out the colors, and I could not find the laundry room, so I remember the wall coloring be that like coral color, so I decided to do that. That was the color in their family room. And there was bleed through because this is alcohol markers, but I'm okay with that because there's just words on the other side, so I'm not too bugged. And if it would have bled through on Ren and Stimpy, it wouldn't have hurt my feelings too much, because the Rugrats is what I like mostly about that book. The next one I just barely completed last night, which is World of My Stained Glass Color by Number by the Sun Life Drawing coloring book. And it's a 22 color palette, and they use all the colors that are listed. And this is the block page, and I basically used alcohol markers, except for the yellow and the oranges I used Staedtler 323s. And the gray actually turned out lighter than I anticipated, but that's all right. The next book was one that I had not colored in yet, but I wanted to test out media that I picked up at Walmart, and that media was confetti Crayola crayons. So I thought this one would be good. This is the Panda coloring book, No Bad Vibes, and it basically is just kind of like an uplifting type of a coloring book. And I did this one where it says sometimes all you need is a bubble bath, which is super true. And these crayons are different while you're coloring. The colors kind of change inside the crayon, and the crayon could look white but come off like as a color. Like the background there looks kind of like an orangey color. Well, the crayon itself, it looks white. So it's a little bit tricky to color with those crayons. You have to really pay attention to the Crayola color names. And you can see how the transitions are different, like that purple into that blue. That is the same crayon. I didn't add extra crayons there. So it was kind of a fun little project to color with crayons. The next one I have here is 100 Beautiful Mandalas by Camelia Angelkova. And I believe Shayna in Colorland was doing Angelkova an August 2020 hashtag this month. And so I tried to complete as many of her pages as I could to be supportive of her hashtag. And I did the orange mandala here. I did the red last month, if you guys remember. So I did the orange one. I also did the yellow, and I added gold in there too. Combination of gel pen, alcohol marker, and such. And then I did the green one. The green one actually had a lot more greens to choose from, so it's a little more diverse. And then in the back here, I've started using my gel pens that are almost out to color mandalas. And so this was one I did, and I actually used up all of the green and used up all of this metallic gold orangey color. And I think it looks kind of Christmassy. And the next one here is kind of blues and yellows, and I think this one reminds me of Elsa off of Frozen. And that one turned out really pretty. I like that one. And again, I'm just saying this is 100 Beautiful Mandalas. And that is a very thick book. The next one is Unicorns and Dragons coloring book, and this is by Selena Fennick. I would have never chose this book to color it because I purchased it before I basically was ready for this book, and the Spin It app told me this was my next spin. So I was brave, and I decided I would color in it, and I'm not going to stress about trying to make it perfect or overdoing shading and all that. I'm just going to have fun. And so this is the one I did with the dragon. I used watercolor, so there's a little bit of warping on the page. but you can see the metallic gold watercolor and the metallic blue water in the little river. And I shaded the stones. I think that the dragon kind of looks like Spyro, if you guys have ever played that game on Nintendo or the game console. I think he's also a computer game with the gold, yellow, and the purple. But I thought that those colors looked good together. That's just what I was feeling at the time. So I'm pretty happy how he turned out. He was like a mixed media project all the way. The next one I have here is Sweet and Sassy Grayscale Coloring Book. And this one I just did one night when I wanted something easy. And this is by Black River Art, I believe. Yes. And I did this girl, and I think it's very summer. She looks like she's wearing a watermelon dress. And as you can see, I only have like 3 colors here and did her hair very blonde. And I think it worked out great. It's like simply beautiful, which is nice. And it's always fun to do some pages like that. Non-stress, easygoing pages. And the next one was one that I spinned. This is the Grayscale Coloring Book Fairy Art Edition by Selena Fennick. It's funny, I actually spinned this one after I spinned the dragon one. So I guess the universe was telling me I really needed to color some Selena Fennick. And I did this one. And I also kind of made it part of the Disney thing by doing her inspired looking by like Tinkerbell. And she's alcohol markers and major stickles on all the wings, on everything on this page. And that was fun. The next one I have here is by More Art, Poppy's Coloring Book. This is a simple, like vintage inspired coloring book is the best way to describe this. And I did this little guy, and he is making music on a bucket. And I really like these books because I like vintage art and vintage art style. And I used alcohol marker, some white gel pen, and my alcohol marker was going out on his hat. So I decided to make it look like I was changing from light to dark, kind of like there was light coming from up there. And just made his puppy basic brown and stick to the primary colors, which are red, yellow, and blue. The next one I have here was one that I spinned. This one was one of those that I wasn't sure if I would be able to pull it off or not. It was given to me. This is Butterfly Kisses by Black River Art. It's a grayscale coloring book. And I decided I would give it a chance and do the best I could to pull off these beautiful women that are in this book. So let me show you which one I did first here. I actually ended up doing 2 because I enjoyed doing the first one so much. It's by Curlon Douglas. That's what I was pulling for. So this is the first one I did, and these are all done with Arteza pencils, just the soft core pencils. And I use a little bit of white gel pen to emphasize where the white was. And then I did this second one as well, which she kind of is off center in here, and she's got like a crystalled butterfly on her hair. She reminds me of a ballerina because of her hair. And so basically I did the redhead and a blonde, and they didn't take too much time. I'm pretty happy about how they turned out. The next one I did was also from my uncolored collection, which is Dainty Damsels Halloween Collection 2019 by J.N. Sheets. And this one I did spin on the Spin It app. And I did this one. which is like a chibi style form of bell. And it also worked for my Disney thing that I was doing. So her hair and her skin is all Black Widow pencils, and same with the doggy's fur. And then I did alcohol markers. The light yellow in her dress is also pencils. And the background is gelato, which is a green tea color that I have brushed in. And I used a gold jelly roll for those borders on that one. The next one I did here was Doodle Invasion. This is part of my uncolored stash, which I have many that I added to Lavelia's hashtag this month. This is by Kirby Roseanne's. And I did this one with the mushroom and all these little guys. I just went for it and decided to do them all with my neon gel pens. And I think I might go back in and do a black background so this whole thing really does pop out. But until then, I'll just leave it like this, because I also thought it might be fun to do a splatter background. I haven't decided what I wanted to do yet. And then the last book, certainly not least, was this book, The Whimsy Girls Through the Decades coloring book, the new one from Hannah Lynn. This was the color along book for my Facebook group this month. And I did 3 in here. The first one is this one, which is the pilot girl or the mechanic girl. And I put my name in her little name tag thing in cursive, like what you would see. And you would think I did the background purposely like this, but actually I ran out of orange. And so I just grabbed yellow really fast and tried to blend it in to make it look kind of like sunset or sunrise. Next one I did here is the diner girl with the poodle skirt. And I did look up a little bit on 50s diners just so that I could pull off a similar color palette to what I would think a 50s diner would be. There is some glossy accents there on the cup and on the jukebox. And then I did this girl, and this girl wasn't part of the color along. This one was just, I wanted to do it for fun. I really wanted to color her because I had never colored an afro, and I just thought it was fun. And I wanted to try my hologram paint on the disco ball. And that's the folk art hologram paint that I purchased at Walmart. And I think that turned out nice. And so that is all the books that I colored in the month of August. And I think they all turned out pretty well. I appreciate everybody for watching. If you watched through this whole video, I applaud your efforts for watching this whole video. Good job. And if you like my channel, please like and subscribe. If you're new, I appreciate the subscribers and the support. To my oldies, I love you. Thank you for coming back. And have a wonderful day and happy coloring, everyone. And stay safe. Thanks, guys, for watching.